kids? How did that go?
Pretty good. Always a little bit exhausting, but I'm feeling a little bit better now that I'm
Doing okay.
just sitting down for a second.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Yeah,
Doing pretty good. Thank you.
That's really good. Well, before we get started with our session, I'm going to go ahead and take your vitals, if
Okay.
that's okay.
Yeah.
So let's come on in here. Blood pressure looks good. Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Oops, get this out of the way. Okay. So, I know I had sent you an email ahead of time. Were you able to fill out the questionnaires that I sent?
I was, yeah. I went ahead and brought the results with me today.
Okay, perfect. So I want to talk to you about those a little bit, but as we're talking about it, I'm going to give you some Theraputty to play with,
Okay.
just to kind of loosen up your hands, okay? And so you can go ahead and just kind of massage it, however it feels comfortable. Don't overdo it. If you get tired, you can put it down. Just something to help you get warmed up while we discuss.
Okay.
And then I'm going to do some range of motion exercises with you after we finish talking about this, okay?
Sounds good.
Okay, so for your measure of activity performance in the hand, it looks like with most of the activities they mentioned, you're having some to great difficulty.
Yeah.
Okay. And of these here that you're having great difficulty with, like opening bottles and cans, peeling vegetables, wringing out cloths, typing on the computer, handwriting, are any of those like more of a priority? Like, do you want to focus on skills in the kitchen first or handwriting first? What
That's
would be
exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, I felt like a lot of it related back to areas in the kitchen, and as a stay-at-home mom, making meals for my family is one of the biggest things I have to, take care of every day. So that would be great to
Okay.
focus on the kitchen. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah, because we can definitely use some adaptive equipment and adaptive techniques that I can teach you later on to
Okay.
help alleviate that pain and kind of prevent further joint issues. Okay, so
That sounds
good.
great. Yeah.
Okay, so that looks great. And then in terms of pain here with your wrist evaluation, it looks generally like you have 6 to 7s for a lot of the pain activities that it asked you about.
Yeah.
Does that sound about right?
Yeah, I would say that I'm usually about a 5 at rest. So there's still a little bit of lingering pain. So it's not too much worse with activities, but it.
So your pain level's at about a 5 right now, which is like your standard.
Yeah, that's pretty
Okay.
normal for me.
Okay, all right, sounds good. So I'm gonna run you through a couple range of motion exercises here. Just not really exercises, just I wanna get a sense of how much range of motion you have in your upper body, okay? So you can kind of just, you're doing the right thing, just follow along with me. So when you Okay, thank you for doing that. I'm gonna have you bring your arms up here. I brought a home exercise plan for you, which should help you loosen up the joints in your hands, prevent them from getting tense, hopefully relax the joints a little bit, and also strengthen them.
Perfect.
So I have this packet here. I'm going to leave this for you. We're going to go over a couple of them together. That way you are clear on it. And then I'd like you to do them each repetition. I think we'll start with 5 repetitions of each one, but working towards getting to 10 if possible. And of course, as always, like, don't put yourself in a position where you're in too much pain.
Okay.
Whatever you can tolerate, okay?
Sounds good.
So the first one I want to show you, you can rest your palms on the table. You can actually put both your palms up, yep. And we are going to just raise each finger and hold for 5 seconds.
Should we do it on both sides of
Yep,
the same
sure,
time?
that sounds
Okay.
good. Yeah, good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. relax, and let's do another one. Wrist straight out. Really good job. So same thing with that. You're gonna just start with five reps on each hand and work up to 10 if you can.
Okay.
And you can let me know next week when I come back how that went. I'd like for you to try to do it 3 days this week,
Okay.
and then we'll see how you felt, how much pain you're in when I come back next week. Okay? Does
Okay.
that sound good?
Yeah.
So there's a few more in here that we can take a look at, and you can let me know if you have any questions. They're pretty self-explanatory, but we'll go over the rest of them before I leave.
Okay.
That way you're really clear.
Sounds good.
Okay? Okay, great. Now I'd like to see how you do your breakfast kind of preparing routine for the kids. I know you said that they eat a lot of toast and bagels and things like that, so
Yeah.
if you don't mind, I'd love to just watch how you do it and then kind of come in with some suggestions if I can.
Sure.
So let's see. You want to just walk me through?
So start with bread.
Made that whole process. So what's the hardest part? Is it the knife, like holding
It's
the
all
knife
the
for you?
small utensils, like holding the knife. You know, it's so hard that when I have to put on, you know, such a tight grip, that's already painful, and then that kind of
Yeah.
hurts.
Yeah.
And like little pinching I have to do to try and open stuff up.
Yes, no, that makes a lot of sense. So there's definitely some strategies we can give you to help have that be less painful. In terms of joint protection, you're gonna wanna use the bigger joints, the better, kind of bigger motions are better.
Okay.
Using the palm of your hand as opposed to like the fine pinch. Okay, so in terms of some strategies for you to help that be less painful, there's a few options. So here's some foam tubing that you can put around utensils. This one wouldn't quite fit around your knife, but we actually have built up handles for knives that are a little bit thicker, easier to grab.
That's much
It
more
has
comfortable.
yeah, does that feel better?
Yeah.
The bigger blade as well, I think, would make it easier to get the butter from the tub.
Yeah.
So that's definitely one thing I would recommend for you. In terms of strategies of opening things, like you're gonna wanna grab with your palm as much as you can, using that palm a little bit more as opposed to like pushing with your thumb to
Okay.
your fingers. So you're gonna wanna think about that kind of in terms of all of your movements, as much as you can. We'll go through that little by little.
Okay.
Another nice idea might be, oops, I got a bunch of them on my hands, but you can put things like this Dyson mat underneath so that that will stabilize your plate,
Okay.
and you won't be needing to navigate both the stabilization and the toast. So hopefully that will help a little
Yeah.
bit. In other terms, in terms of opening jars, this is a really good adaptive device that will help make that easier for you. So why don't we, I'm gonna give you a jar. I know you don't need it necessarily for the toast, but just depending on the container of whatever you buy. bigger
better.
grasp for you, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
that was nice.
okay, so there's just a few ways. There's definitely a lot more that we can talk about, but those are a few ways to start with, okay? So I know that you said the kids also like a lot of juice, and obviously you need to help them with their drinks and stuff sometimes. So
Yeah.
do you want to just show me how you normally do it, and then I'll kind of jump in with
Sure.
maybe some ideas
Sounds good.
if there's a different way.
Okay.
So are you normally one-handed?
Yeah, that's just what I always had done.
Yeah,
So I
that
don't
makes
really-
sense. I think that's how we mostly do it. Here, let me
Yeah.
show you.
Okay.
If you want to use 2 hands, let me demonstrate for you.
Okay.
You can keep your palms bigger. You're holding, you're gripping less up here, and actually
Okay.
more, mostly just using your palm, not your joints.
Okay.
So you just use 2 hands, and then you go ahead and pour it in. Okay, and get it back. Another thing I like about what you have going on here is that you didn't fill. That looks great. How did that feel? A little bit easier?
That felt better. Yeah, not as
Okay.
heavy on me, so that was nice.
I like that it's not full all the way. I think that that's a good strategy. I don't know if it just happened to be like you guys are almost done with it.
It did, but I'll keep that in mind. That's a really good point.
Yeah, so a little bit less weight
Mhm.
is really good. If you are lifting things that are heavier loads, try to keep them closer to your body. So if
Okay.
it was full, you could kind of keep it in
Right.
close and move the cup closer
Okay.
to you.
Gotcha.
Another suggestion that might be really helpful. These cups they're really beautiful. This is heavy. Might be a little bit harder for you in terms of requiring a tough grasp there.
Yeah.
So we might want to think about a lighter style cup
Okay.
as an option. I know
Okay.
that would be a big change, so I totally get that we may not go there first, but that's something for us to think
something
about.
to think about for sure.
Okay, and then one last thing I wanted to mention is it's kind of good to keep you might want to start keeping a chair in your kitchen
Okay.
in terms of modifying the activity and conserving your energy. Like you could maybe sit, you can even, if you want to sit down now, you're welcome to.
Okay.
You can sit while the toast is kind of brewing. I don't know how we would call that while it's toasting.
While it's toasting,
So taking breaks when you can, I think, is really going to help reduce your fatigue.
Yeah.
So we can kind of, obviously we can't get to everything today, but we'll go through by the end of the visits that we have together. Hopefully, how you do the other daily tasks like your laundry and things like that, and kind of go through the same process of like show me how you do it, and then thinking about using the palms of your hands more, bigger movements more as opposed to smaller movements. I'll help you kind of alleviate some pain, I hope, and make things a little easier for you.
Yeah, that sounds great.
All right, sounds good. So we're gonna wrap it up now.
Okay.
I'll help you get things put away, and then before I go, I want to just go through some reminders of like your home exercise program and things like that.
Okay, sounds good.